Good evening, welcome to another edition of Ten-Tec Television. I am Scott Robbins, W4PA, the Amateur Radio Product Manager for Ten-Tec Incorporated. And tonight we are in the Ten-Tec Ham Shack to give a demonstration of the Model 302R remote encoder keypad. That is this device right here. A remote encoder keypad has a specific purpose. It's so essentially if you have a radio that's on the desk that's in front of you, you don't have to be leaning over the desk to be able to adjust it. You can put it up higher on a shelf or something like that and still be able to tune around and play with functions on the radio without touching the front panel. You can see I can sit back here and let me put this camera over here on the Orion. I can tune around the band. Just as if I was turning the knob here on the front of the rig. There are a couple of other things on the 302R itself besides merely the knob, of course. There are 3 function buttons that you see marked F1, F2, F3 above the main tuning knob. There's also a keypad and an entry button over here on this side as well that's used for direct frequency entry. This keypad can also be used as a band change keypad as well. Actually, the default is band change. Here, I'll put this on here. As I push buttons on the band change keypad, this will actually change bands from band to band, pushing buttons. Now, if I want to do a direct frequency entry, all I have to do is press E first, for E. This is set up for VFO-B at the moment. And I will type in a frequency, 14.230, enter, and that sets it to 14.230. These function buttons are user assignable. To do so, you go into the menu. Here, let me move the camera over here for a little closer shot of the Orion II. Ooh, not quite that close. Screen. Okay, I'm going to go into the menu by pushing the menus button. And you can see right here we have remote pod F1, remote pod F2, remote pod F3. Those are the menu items that are used to assign what functions the F1, F2, and F3 buttons that are on the top of the remote encoder actually control. We have a whole bunch of things that can be possibly controlled. Right here you see we can toggle between VFO-A and VFO-B. We can adjust the step size, mode, turn the sweep function on the Orion II on and off. User 1 and User 2 are user profiles on the Orion. If you're not familiar with them, these are like super memories. Essentially, everything on the radio can be saved rather than just a typical memory like frequency, mode, etc. Those could be actuated. Send 1, Send 2, and Send 3 are memories. We have 3 CW memories and 3 SSB memories in the Orion II that can be actuated by pressing these buttons on the front, or you can assign them to the ones on the pod. VFO-A enter is you can press a button and you can actuate VFO-A enter, so you can direct frequency enter a frequency in for VFO-A or VFO-B. You can use this to clear the RIT, XIT. Okay, now you can see there's another item here. It says REM pod enter. Essentially, this means this determines what the default is for entering a direct frequency. A second ago, with this on VFO-B enter, I pushed the enter button on the pod and I typed in a direct frequency that ended up going into VFO-B. If I had toggled this to VFO-A, it would have direct entered that frequency into VFO-A. So let's see, I'll set this to something that might commonly be used. VFO-AB, I've got this on step, this on mode, and I'll show you how this works. We go back here to the radio screen. If I press the F1 button, you can see that the 2 VFOs have now toggled. So the B frequency now went to A and vice versa. Of course, you can reverse that just by pressing the same button again. The F2 button at present is assigned to step size. If you look right here, this is the step size value, and as I press this, now let's say it's on 10K, you can see the rig is tuning in 10 kilohertz steps. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to do that. I pressed the button on the rig instead. Okay, you can cycle through here. Here's 1 hertz steps, 10 hertz steps, etc. Now F3 I have assigned to mode, so when I press the F3 button, if you look over here at main, upper CW, lower CW, AM, FM, FSK, upper sideband, lower sideband. You can use this to cycle through the various modes on the rig. Now this device is not only limited to the Orion II, there are receptacles on the rear of the Orion II, the Omni-VII, and the Jupiter transceivers to allow this to be plugged in. Additionally, we have a discontinued receiver called the RX350D that this device was usable for as well. It's tethered with a cable you see here. It's 6 feet long. The cable is plugged into a jack-marked remote on the back of the rig. So, you know, really I'm a pretty good distance back from the rig here. I'm at the edge of the table. The front of the radio is probably, let's see, you know, it's a good couple of feet away, if I get the cameraman here to help me out. And I can tune around just by turning the knob. You can imagine if this rig was up on a shelf or it was over here or something like that, I wouldn't have to actually sit there and lean over the rig and turn the knobs, etc. I could actually assign them to the remote pod itself. So I hope that you found this presentation on the utility of this device informative. This is model 302R. It is used for, like I said, Orion II, Omni-VII, Jupiter. More information about this product is available on Ten-Tec's website at www.tentec.com. We can also be reached by telephone at 800-833-7373. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give us a call. Again, my name is Scott Robbins. My call sign is W4PA. I'm the Amateur Radio Product Manager for Ten-Tec. For this edition of Ten-Tec TV, good night and 73.